scores of the 1981 Grand Final. Carlton 12 goals, 92. The Collingwood 10 goals, 12-72. And let's go down to the boundary line with Stephen Phillips, and he's talking to a very elated president of the Carlton Football Club, Mr. Ian Rice.
Thanks, Louis. Ian, have you ever felt this washed out before in your life?
Can't believe it. It must be like running a marathon. Unbelievable a feeling. You know, the whole year, the blood, sweat and tears, the grind, moulding new players into the side, new coach, and the fact that the boys just moulded together, and the tremendous mateship that emanated from every player, and of course spearheaded by some terrific champions. And wasn't it fantastic for Brucey Dool, you know, a champion of champions, to take it out.
2 years ago you took over as caretaker president at a time of great strife in the club's history. You're still here. They've got a cup on the mantelpiece, and they've equalled Collingwood's record.
Well, this is what football is all about. You know, nobody could believe the feeling, that to think all that turmoil 2 years ago, and the new administration, new financial structure, addition of 4 or 5 great recruits, each one a terrific winner, and here we are in the MCG with the flag. You know, what more can you say?
Well, thank you, Ian Rice. I'm sure there'll be plenty more to say a little later on in the evening. Back to you, Louis.
Thanks very much, Stephen. There's the Clark mobile crane shot for Channel 7. And, of course, not as crowded as it was. A lot of Collingwood supporters going home disappointed. And we waited 23 years, now we've got to wait 24. And those boys from Channel 7 up there on the cranes have certainly done a marvellous job. Let's go down now to Jack Edwards in the Carlton dressing rooms, and he's talking to the victorious coach, David Parker.
Well, David Parker, congratulations. Premiership coach for 1981. I know you haven't had time to collect your thoughts, but what's the immediate feeling?
I think, as normal, Jack, just a big relief. I think from a coaching point of view, particularly when you know you've got the players, and I knew that we had the best group of players, and then I thought we might take a tumble at the finish, and that would have been very sad, because they did a lot of work, and we got the shortcut in, and then to have lost it after that would have been very sad. But the manner it was done, probably, Jack, was as pleasing as the end result.
Third quarter, you must have been very worried. Collingwood seemed to control most of that third quarter. You got 2 goals very late in the quarter.
I think we kicked 2 at the end of the quarter, which gave us a chance, and then we kicked the first 2 or 3 at the start of the last quarter. And I thought if we were round about, then we had enough in us. I knew we had lots of fitness and lots of running in our legs if we were close enough to do it, and we got a bit of momentum, and I think then Collingwood found it very hard. They've worked so hard, Jack, to get there. It was going to be difficult for them to find something if we actually headed them, and that was the way it worked out.
What you're saying, your 1 week spell must have stood you in good stead in the finish.
Because you've got fit players to start with, Jack. You know, there was no doubt about our running. Our capacity to run was going to be good. We kept that up, but we had players who went onto the ground not carrying injuries, eager to do the job, and a fresh approach. And I think that's more difficult when you've come the hard way as Collingwood have done.
I know you don't like to individualise, but I thought your skipper's game, Fitzpatrick and Bruce Dool, they played fantastic games of football.
Yes, we really did. I know you did. But Michael, since he broke his hand bones just before the Essendon game, and few people realise that he was in a dreadful state as in his own mind. He had a hand that he couldn't put pressure on the ball, and he didn't want to let the team down from a leadership or a playing point of view. He went out that day and was best man on the ground, and I think, talk about man, know thyself. I think from that moment forward, Michael has been the best leader in the competition, and he's carried it right through the finals and the important games leading up to it. And I think he, more than any other one player, showed the way for the rest. And of course, the experience of Bruce Dool in the back half, I think it was justly rewarded with the medal.
The loss of English must have been a problem at the time.
It was, because we'd shifted Harms and McConville, and that had worked for us, and then having to take Harms actually back out of the play was a bit of a disappointment. And Des have been a good player. Des English has been superb over the last few weeks, and I thought we might have trouble covering that because it took McConville out of the forward line, who was starting to show a bit too.
The job McConville did on Renee Kink was fantastic.
Very good, yeah. Then we took a bit of a risk to change Harms and Kink, because when the game was even, we had to do something. And that worked for a short period of time, and then we were forced, because of the English business, to restructure the side.
Well, thank you very much, Dave. I'll let you get back to your team, and congratulations once again.
Thanks very much, mate.
Thanks very much, Dave.
Well, a very happy Carlton dressing rooms, and you can't blame them for that. And full marks to David Park, and congratulations to him, because he's done a wonderful job with Carlton this year. And he took the club on at a difficult time, because there was a little bit of animosity for the moment. He was appointed coach after they sacked Percy Jones, and of course he's got the score on the board now. Bob, he's a premiership of a coach of a premiership side, in 1 year, which is a fantastic effort.
And he's done it at 2 clubs, Lou.
That's right.
So there's not too many coaches who've coached premiership sides at more than 1 club. Ron Barassi is one that quickly comes to mind, but there's not too many, that is for sure. And it is a wonderful job by David Parkin. He's had the complete respect of all of the players out there, and he had some good players there today. Bruce Dool and Ken Hunter, McConville, Harms, Perovic were magnificent in defence. Malin progressed as the game went along. Wells and Glascott did their share, and Basusto was in there pitching all the time, even though it was one of these poorest games. And full marks to David Toomey for the job that he did do against Basusto. Bill Picken likewise was a wonderful trier, and although Mark McClure kicked 2 goals, Bill Picken had the better of McClure on the day and has given Collingwood a wonderful final series. We mentioned Fitzpatrick, and from Peter Moore's point of view, he dropped some marks that he should have taken, but that's the most remarkable recovery that I've ever seen, and I'm amazed that Peter Moore was carried off in the manner that he was, because I just didn't believe any player could come back and see a game out anyway.
Well, Carlton have equalled Collingwood's record of 13 premierships now, and that stood for a long time. I don't know whether it's going to be an unlucky number for Carlton, as it has been for Collingwood. They've stood on there for 23 years, and no doubt there'd be a lot of disappointed Collingwood officials, players and supporters. But one thing about the Magpie supporters, they keep on coming back, because they've been doing that for years. You can bet your sweet life that next year they'll be back there again, and probably a stronger force than they've ever been, because they've got the utmost faith that I've known of any supporters in the league. Once again, the final scores in the 1981 Grand Final. Carlton have won this match by 20 points. Carlton 12 goals, 20-92. To Collingwood 10 goals, 12-72. Premiers for 1981. So that just about wraps it up from the MCG, which is starting to empty out now. A crowd of around about 110,000 people, I would say. So on behalf of our camera crew, the boys that did such a marvellous job today, and I think you'll agree with a spectacular telecast. Our commentators, Peter Landy and Bobby Skilt, not forgetting our statistician Paul Todd, and everybody connected, our producer back there at Channel 7 and the crew he's got working there, Gordon Bennett. We'd like to say farewell to the Melbourne Cricket Ground, and we certainly hope that you stay with us again next year. So this is Lou Richards signing off on behalf of Bobby Skilt.
Thanks very much, Lou.
This has been another live presentation from 7 Sport.